In today's lecture, we are going to cover some of the functions from date and time category. Let us start with the function now. So the functions now and today, these are two functions which does not take any input. Let us see what is the use of these two functions. Now function returns the current date and the time as per the settings what you have done for this system. In the similar way, if you want to display only date, in that case we can use the function today. When you press enter, it will display today's date. Whenever we open this Excel sheet, it is going to update the date and time automatically. Next function we have is date. Date has three arguments, that is year, month and day. When we specify these three inputs, it returns a number that represents the date in Microsoft Office Excel date and time code. That means, as we have discussed previously, in Excel it is possible to perform calculations on numbers, text as well as date and time. So when we perform calculations on date and time, internally Excel makes use of some date time code. So this date function returns that serial number for the date you specify by using year, month and day. So let us specify today's date as the input. So the year is 2020, month is 9 and day is 25. When we click on OK, it displays the date. When we convert the format of this cell as number, it is going to display the date in the number format. So this is the serial number used by Excel for this today's date. In the similar way, we have date value function which generates the same output as date, but the difference between date and date value is that date function has three different arguments for date, month and year, whereas in case of date value it accepts only one argument, that is the date in text format. So let us see how this date value function works. Select date value. Here only one input it takes, that is the date in the text format. So let me add today's date here. It should be included in double quotes. So it is going to return the same value. In the similar way, Excel also use some date time code for time. So time function returns the serial number which represents the date time code for the specified time. It has three arguments, that is minutes, hours and seconds. So the three inputs should be given separately, that is hours, minutes and seconds. If you convert this to number, it will show the actual date time code used by Excel for the specified time. time value also returns the same output, but the difference is that here the time is given as a single argument, how we had specified for date value. Let us use the same input which we have given for the time function. So you can see here it returns the same output. Next function we have is weekday. Weekday returns the day of the week. That is, when you specify some date for this weekday function, whether it falls on the first day of the week or second day or third day and so on. Let us use this weekday function. It has two inputs, serial number and return type. Let us select the today's date. Return type is optional. Return type, when we give the return type as 1, Sunday will be considered as the first day of the week. If the return type is 2, Monday will be considered as the first day. Whereas when you use 3, Monday will be assigned 0, Tuesday will be 1 and so on up to Sunday will be 6. Let us consider that Monday is the first day of the week. In that case, specify the return type as 2. So for today's date, it will generate 5 because it is Friday. So using this weekday function, you can also find what was the day when you were born. For example, suppose the date of birth is, let me use 4th November 2003, that is your birthday. When you click on OK, so it will return 2. So 4th November 2003 was Tuesday. This is how weekday function can be used. Next function we have is month, which returns a number between 1 to 12 based on the date specified. For example, if we specify today's date as input for the month function, it returns the number 9. In the similar way, you can extract year from the date. Select today's date as the input. It is going to return the year 2020. The last function of today is network days. So network days function is used to return the total working days in the specified period. So network days function accepts 3 inputs, that is the start date, end date and the list of holidays. To know the number of working days in the month of October, let us select the start date as 1st October, end date 31st October and assume that these are the holidays. So in holiday list, the list can be selected. With this, it will also consider Saturday and Sunday as holidays. When you click on OK, it returns the total working days in month of October, excluding the holidays and Saturday and Sundays. This is how network days function can be used to calculate total working days in a period.